Hey everyone, I'm Legado, market task commentator at Global Prime Forex. As you know, I only want to put out there videos that I believe are going to be helping you to up your game. In this case, technically speaking, I believe that this indicator can be of great visual appeal. Okay, so in today's brief content delivery, I wanted to share this indicator that I recently came across with at Forex Factory, and I would say that while it's nothing extraordinary, it really helps to visually understand the type of most importantly, the type of stops that one may need to enter into the market. Okay, especially these days, most vitally than ever, we have to really adapt to the rampant volatility that we've seen in markets due to the COVID-19 going global. Okay, so in this video, and in particular referring to this indicator, let me just share it to you. It's called the ATR in stop loss take profits, and first of all, credit where it's due. It was authored by Joshua Jones, and it can be found in the forexfactory.com. And the inputs are very simple. I did set a period of 10, and then you can just set percentage stop loss and take profits as you wish. Okay, so this indicator that I'm referring to, the magic really resides on the fact that it's not only going to be visually appealing, but it's going to definitely help you to potentially calibrate based on your strategies in getting in and out of the market. It's going to help you to calibrate your stop loss size and taking profit targets based on what's important here is based on objective measures, accounting for volatility. Okay, so in MT4, remember that we are used to get by default the ATR indicator that you can see here in the secondary window. Okay, but the downside, at least for me, is that this is an indicator that it really is limited in the kind of visual information that it gives you in the main chart. Okay, so you can always understand through this line what is the type of volatility that we are seeing, in this case on a 10-period basis. But if you really want to really quickly eyeball, okay, so how that does translate in the chart, well, what makes this ATR stop loss take profit that I'm presenting to you today so interesting and so different is the fact that it can be placed in the main chart via these lines while maintaining the exact same values of the default ATR here in the second window. Okay, remember, this is an indicator that I'm going to be making public, so in the description box you will have access to it. You just have to click to a link and you can immediately download it. All right, now on top of that, what I wanted to mention is that so let's just say, for instance, that you have or independent, let's just say independent of your entry strategy and even the time frame, either you're trading through the 4-hour or the daily, one must be really in constant tune with volatility, right? So it really would be calamitous if you were to use now the same size, the same stop loss size than 1 or 2 months ago when volatility in the FX market was shot to pieces. That's why I believe that now more than ever it is important that we have some type of measures of volatility that will help us understand to what extent are you actually placing stops that are not realistic, accounting for the current volatility that we have in the markets. Okay, so let me give you an example before I conclude this short video. Say that you are a trader looking to trade fake outs, okay, of certain levels, and this is a chart of the Euro US dollar on the daily. So we can, for example, highlight this area of resistance. It did prove to be resistance on this travel north, and then it did struggle at the exact same location. We broke through, but then we did come back below. So let's just say that you are someone who's looking to engage whenever there's a retest of a level that proved to fail. Okay, we had here the first test, second test, we did break, but we closed back lower than there. So you want to trade this test, right? The backside of that level. So essentially the red line is going to tell you that if you want to enter a position at that point, you're going to have a separation worth 1 period of the ATR. So the ATR right here at that point was about 200 pips. Let me just double check. That was about, no, sorry, it was about 170 pips or thereabouts. Okay, so essentially it automatically calculates and it portrays that through a line in the main chart. Okay, so that's why I find it to be very interesting, this indicator, as I said, independent of your trading strategy. Okay, and so in the case of this trade, you would have been placing the stop at one period ATR away from your entry, and then you would be targeting a 2 times ATR or 3 times ATR, etc. Okay, it depends, and you can tweak that through the settings. You can actually tweak it through here. You can alter the colors, etc. Okay, now let's just say, for example, that you are someone who likes to trade breakouts, retest of the breakouts. Okay, so then in that case, you can come here and you notice that we had this level being broken to the downside. Essentially here we had the first test, we had the second test, finally we had a resolution towards the downside, and it's at that point that the market comes and retests that level. Well, essentially at that point, you know that the ATR is going to be there, indicating and providing guidance as a reference that you should be placing a stop at that point somewhere between 45 and 50 pips, just because at that time during late January the volatility was still fairly suppressed. So therefore you had to be adapting to volatility at that point. It would be really dangerous if at this point you were to use stop losses of 50 pips. That's why right now that 50 pips from back in late January has now expanded into about 190 or thereabouts. Okay, so very important here that if you were to take that trade, you can have an objective measure of placing your stop, and then look for a 2-to-1, a 3-to-1, a 4-to-1, 5-to-1, etc. target. Okay, so it really depends on your style, and this video is not intended as part of teaching a strategy, but rather just raising awareness of an indicator that I believe has power, as it does the round number indicator that I did put out there quite a couple of weeks ago, as it does the daily ATR limit, which really very much relates to the explanation to the teachings of today, and as it does the swap and spread information, which is all compiled as part of a video a couple of weeks ago. Okay, so bottom line is that whichever your strategy, this indicator can definitely act as a universal indicator to keep you safer, as you would immediately understand if the stop loss that you're using and the take profit targets placed, especially the stop loss, are in accordance with the levels of volatility that we are seeing in the market. Okay, now I suggest that you play around with this indicator. You will be absolutely free of charge. You will be able to download it, and yeah, that's pretty much it. If you find value, as always, I suggest that you follow me, you like these videos, you help me support the channel so that we can put the word out there of hopefully raising the awareness of people's understanding of how important it is to be properly educated and sharing stuff that it is of real value. Okay, no fuss, no nonsense here. All right, so until the next video, it's bye for me. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Be safe.